Chart Takeover with Panic at the Disco.
An entire hour dedicated to the tracks that you're listening to the most. You're streaming them, you're sharing them, adding them to your playlist, and then this hour we run them back 20 to 1. It's the chart at Beats One LA. I'm Brooke Reese, and Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco is here. You're going to join me this entire hour.
That's right.
We're going to talk about the biggest songs from around the world. We're also going to talk about, of course, the brand new album, Pray for the Wicked, which I cannot wait to get into. We're going to talk about Broadway. We're going to talk about tours.
That's right.
Maybe shooting you out of a cannon. I don't know. I keep going back there.
I still love that idea.
Yeah, I think we can make it happen. We'll see what happens this hour.
Let's see what happens.
One of the artists who has been a chart mainstay, and for good reason, is Drake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Drake always puts out music, and it's like he gets into the lab and he knows exactly what he's doing in the studio.
He does.
Like, I don't know
He's
what that
next level.
magic potion is, but he does it, and then he just puts out hits, and then the only one who could break his records is himself.
Oh, man. Drake is definitely like top 3 for me. I put him up overall too because getting to watch it now as it's happening is so wild. Like, I don't think that even like the younger generation that follows him realizes how cool this is.
Right.
This is like witnessing a legend walking through the motions, like as it's happening. We get to live, in the past with like Queen and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and you have, Marvin Gaye and Donny Hathaway and all these legends. But witnessing it firsthand, like in real time, is so crazy. To be alive while this dude is creating like new genres, new vibes, new clicks, new everything, new jargon. It's just, it's really exciting, man. I'm just such a massive fan. I remember the first time somebody told me about Drake. It was like 2010 or something, and they're like, this kid was in the show Degrassi in Canada, and like, it's whatever, dude. Like, I don't even know if he's like real hip-hop. It's like, dude, how presumptuous of you, first off.
Yeah.
And then B, let me listen to the thing first. And then I heard the first thing I ever saw of Drake's, I think it was like 2011, I saw Best I Ever Had, and I saw the video, and I was like, that's awesome. That is hilarious. Like, the things he's saying, the video, the context of it, it's so tongue-in-cheek. I love this guy. And he's continued to do that. You thought it couldn't get better, and every time it does, dude is unreal. Yeah. Drake is all time, for sure. This is Chart. Panic at the Disco takes over Chart. On Beats
One. So for a couple of the tracks too, you have the parentheses around. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm intrigued by what made the title that, right? So we have like A Silver Lining, and then Same and Saturday Night.
That's right.
But let's talk about The Silver Lining.
Yeah.
But why does it need the parentheses around it?
So I usually do that because that's what I call the song during the process. That's usually like a tentative title. So I go, hey, let's do Silver Lining, and then you start over here. But usually, labels and everybody wants to cut it down to like one word. Like, we just want that trigger word so that people go, well, let me hear that track Silver, because that's that stuff. Like, I want to hear that. So I'm like, nah, dude, that's just like what I called it. So I was so used to calling it that they're like, okay, we'll keep it, but we'll put it in parentheses. So that was our compromise. Chart Extra. This is a Chart Takeover with Panic at the Disco.
Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco taking over the chart this entire hour. Can we talk about your stint in Kinky Boots?
Yeah.
Which you were fantastic, by the way. Okay,
Thanks.
so I obviously wasn't able to go, but I definitely lurked online.
Good.
Because I just had to. You were so fantastic.
Thanks.
What was it like during that rigorous schedule, and kind of what did you learn the most from being on Broadway?
Ooh.
They're extremely hard workers. I don't think sometimes people understand how hard Broadway is.
They really don't, because even I had a different idea before I jumped in. So, like, the first time I realized how hard it was going to be was when they showed me the schedule of 8 shows a week, 6 days a week. It was like, okay, you do 2 shows out of the day, where it's 2 shows a day. So that's already 5 hours out of your day actually on stage performing. That's just one day. So you have the most rigorous schedule. It's so demanding. You have to be on point vocally and health-wise, because you have to be this character, so you always have to be on point. And then I think the hardest thing for me was realizing, like, no one's going to sing along with you, dude. When you start singing these songs, you're on your own. No one's going to help you out. They might have some backing harmonies, but you're doing a solo song, man. This is your song. There's no chorus. There's no ensemble. It's just you. So having to stomp your foot down and, like, I hope I hit this note. Oh, God! Let's see what happens. That was a huge learning experience. It's kind of pushed me out of my shell a little bit.
It's so funny. I didn't even think about that. You're so used to having the audience sing back these lyrics that you've written, and now you're singing somebody else's production, and then you're just there by yourself, like, okay, this is all me right now.
I'm used to taking it easy. Like, the fans give me such an easy. They're totally forgiving when I forget words, and they sing stuff louder than we are playing. So yeah, they're awesome. And then Broadway was so the opposite. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Chart. Panic at the Disco takes over Chart.
This is a chart takeover with Panic at the Disco.
Did you take any of your time in from Broadway and put it into the new album, maybe like lyrically or vocally? Like, were you able to push yourself this time?
Definitely. Yeah, Broadway forced me vocally to do different stuff. It forced me just to get better because it was like, man, you have to sing these songs. You have to hit these notes. Just do it. I don't even know. Just Nike, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, you just have to be a part of it and just go for it. So I definitely took that home, and when I started writing stuff and recording vocals, I was surprised at like where I was landing vocally. I was like hitting this note. I was like, I've never landed that range before. That's kind of cool. I was hitting notes higher. Like, I've never gone that high before. Oh, I've never resonated in this kind of chamber. So definitely taught me more. But I'm just excited for people to hear how different it is too. Vocally was very big learning experience. Much because the first time I heard it, I didn't want to do much to it, knowing the way that I felt. I was like, if I start messing with this thing, it's not going to have the same appeal that I sought after when I first heard it. So got this thing, and I was like, man, this describes perfectly how I felt as a kid, like making the cardboard guitar cutouts and standing in front of the mirror and acting like a rock star.
I love that.
You know, fake it till you make it. It was like, but I didn't even know there was a thing. I just was dreaming of it so hard as a kid that finally being here now and being able to write about it is so cool.
Definitely one of my absolute favorite tracks off the album. I feel like it's the wild card. That song was actually produced by Dylan Francis. The two linked up, and you can get those dance vibes on that one. Panic at the Disco. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. It's another chart extra this hour as Panic at the Disco takes over the Apple Music chart. Real quick.
Disco takes over chart. The biggest songs in Apple Music right now.
Can we talk about the brand new album, Pray for the Wicked?
Yes.
Okay, we were talking about this earlier because we shot a video with you, which is going to be full of some really awesome questions that you answered, and you can actually check that video out on Apple Music right now.
Right.
But the album, let's talk about the inspiration behind that.
Yes. You know, I didn't expect to make an album, first off. I had just gotten back from doing my first stint on Broadway, which was so cool. But I told myself, I was like, I'm going to take the rest of the year off and take it easy, you know? I'm just going to write some stuff and not really have a plan of showing anybody any music until the beginning of next year. But that didn't go to plan because I was home for about 2 days. In the 2 weeks I set off for myself to just vacation. And I started writing stuff, and it just kind of crept up like naturally. All this stuff started happening, and I started reflecting on the past couple years. So really, it's a callback to me trying to tell myself mostly, keep your hopes high, don't ever get too discouraged because it's always going to get better. That was one part of it. And then the other part was, I want to talk about my religious upbringing. Not in a bitter way, more just like, hey, this is where I came from. I still can use that religious imagery because that's just how I talk, and culturally that's just who I am. So yeah, that's kind of what it touches on.
Panic.
Talk about DuckTales, talking about shooting you out of a cannon. You told a really cool story about Say Amen Saturday Night.
Yeah.
Because I love the lyric, Mama, can I get another amen?
Yeah,
and then you told a story about that one.
Yeah, so that really, it came from, again, my religious upbringing. I grew up Mormon, and I'm not anymore, but it doesn't mean that I write it off. I'm not bitter towards it. I'm not anti-theist. I don't think that everybody needs to be an atheist. It's just how I ended up, you know? So to have that understanding, I kind of took it in stride, the fact that I have this whole culture of stuff that I'm just denying myself. So I might as well go back. And when we were kids, Saturday night was the preparation for the Sabbath, right? For Sunday, for the Lord's Day. So, you know, Saturday was the cleaning. You do all the chores. You spend about 7 hours cleaning the house. And then you could, you know, do frivolous whatever. You had a couple extra hours before, like, family meetings started. And then, you know, you'd meet. We would spend the last, like, 5 hours of the night together as a family, which I think is so great, man. Like, looking back, I was so fortunate to have that. Like, such a tight-knit little community in my family. So having all that stuff, I don't anymore, like, want to just study scripture and do all this other stuff. And it was boring as a kid. So now I do the things that I would like to do to prep me for a day of sleeping in on Sunday. So that's really what it came down to. It was like, how do I prep myself for Sunday? Let's go out and party so that I sleep like a champion Sunday. And that's really what it became. So I'm kind of taking all those religious things and turning it over upon its ear. I love it.
Excited to tour this new album. I can only imagine getting back out on the road, and this time when you hit the stage, people will sing along with you.
It's been a minute. No, I am, and especially after we talked about the Taylor Swift concert, like
just absolutely fantastic.
Phenomenal. And like when I get re-energized when I go and see a live act because I get to see the show. I'm also taking mental notes of production. I'm one of those guys that when I go to a concert, I'm the worst. I never take pictures. I never have my phone out. I'm always just in the moment, which I guess is good, but I also like to have those memories too. So
I know, yeah.
I got to bring my wife and my friends with me so they can take pictures. But I was so enamored with Taylor's live show that I was like, man, I cannot wait to start incorporating the stuff that I've thought about, and it further pushed like how confident I was about this tour coming up. I'm so excited. It's going to be already the craziest that we've done. And looking at stage production too, I was like, man, if you guys don't know what a toaster is, we have toasters on this tour. So like, just look up Michael Jackson toaster. I don't know. I mean, you could find so many different people using this thing, but like, I want to use it like a superhero uses it and do like a superhero landing. I think I've said too much, but you know what? Screw it. It's in like 2 months. Tour's coming up a month and a half. You guys are gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be a blast. Dude.
You heard it here first.
You're listening to the biggest songs in Apple Music right now. Beats One.
Can we talk about, I think last time you were here, we talked about shooting you out of a cannon.
Yeah, I did talk about that.
Wait.
I wanted to do a video of that, but I don't get sign-offs because the insurance, they won't do it.
They just love you too much. They're like, we can't afford to lose him.
Maybe that's what it is.
Not the hair. Just like,
As long as his face stays pretty, we'll Photoshop him onto somebody else's body.
yeah, it's fine.
I think, I would still like to be set on fire and shot out of a cannon. If I can knock those two birds out with one stone, great, let's do it. But I don't know.
Is your wife ever like, something going on?
No, she knows something's always going on. She knows I'm out of my mind. Like she knew what she was getting into when we were first together. So that's not. She knows how crazy I am. But she's the best. She takes it in stride, man. She's so patient with me. I think about some of the stuff I put her through, like afterwards, and then I'll just like treat her to a nice dinner. I'm like, why are you still with me? And she's just like, I just love you. Like, it's the sweetest thing, but I put her through a lot.
That's amazing.
You're listening to
Music chart here out of Beats One LA. This artist, okay, can we talk about Childish Gambino?
Oh my goodness.
Just because there is nothing he can't do.
He's one of those rare people that can do that, can do the thing where it's like, I think I want to try this, and then be the best at what they just tried. It blows my mind. Like,
He really
he's
is.
a quadruple. He can dance, sing, act, and tell jokes.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, is so funny. Yeah, I love you. Let me just say right now, I love Don Glover, okay? I love you, Don.
This is a chart. Panic at the Disco takes over chart on Beats One.
What is it about that track that kind of like specifically hits there?
It's really nice. There's a couple tongue-in-cheek things, but I think overall, I'm just like, my mom told me, Mama told me that every day's like this, but I never really believed her. She's like, trust me, you know what you're gonna be, you know what you're gonna do and who you're gonna be in the future. Just let it happen, and she was right.
Chart. Panic at the Disco takes over chart on Beats One.
11 tracks on the new album. Dying in LA is the very last track. Why did you decide to end the project on that one?
Dude, I always do this to myself. I'm a sucker for like a sad song. I think we talked about this last time. Like Bonnie Raitt's "I Can't Make You Love Me" is like one of the saddest songs to me.
I love that song.
Me too, and I love a little self-deprecation, a little beating yourself up. So, yeah, my last few albums I've like ended kind of somber, a little more morose, and it's kind of nice, I like having that little tongue-in-cheek, like it's not the end of the world, but let's sing like it is, So that's kind of what it is. It's like I know that it's not as bad as I make it seem, but let's pretend like it is for this moment. Because when I was a kid and realizing, like getting diagnosed with depression and anxiety and ADHD and all these things, I realized like if I'm sad, I like listening to sad music. I kind of steer into the skid. I want to go with that mood. If I wake up mad, I meditate on why I'm mad. Maybe I'm mad the whole day. I don't know. But I kind of really was always about like, how am I feeling? Let's just go with that. And so that's really what it is. Dying in LA is just that somber little finish, little button on the end of the scene of the album.
I love that you're like,
Okay, I never did musical theater, or I was a theater kid in school, but I was raised to be, and then I ended up being the stoner that built the sets for the school. So it worked out, I got best of both worlds, man.
You're listening to the chart takeover with Panic at the Disco.
Beats One. Number 4.
Me, Jake, and our friend Sam Hollander, shout out, who's our favorite lyricist right now. He's just so fun. And I had spent like 2 hours, I guess, just getting high and like pontificating about Carl Sagan and interdimensional travel. And like, if the fourth dimension came into the third dimension, it would seem like a three-dimensional object, but it's not. It's a light. And so it's going into this like whole different multiverse topic. That a week later, he came back with all of these things about Carl Sagan and interdimensional travel and the multiverse and quantum theory and quantum physics. And I was blown away. I was like, dude, I would love to sing about this stuff. He's like, well, I put it in a context that makes it sound like drugs, but it's not. And I was like, genius, because I was on drugs when I was talking to you about this. That's perfect. So really, King of the Clouds was kind of like a last-minute happy accident. Wasn't sure it was going to end up on the album. And then like an hour before the deadline, we finally got all the masters in. And they're like, okay, it ended up on the album. If that's sure what you want. They were still like unsure of the song. They hadn't really sat with it for a long time. I was like, it's going on. It's going on. So that one I'm really proud of because I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. I didn't have a lot of time to contemplate if I wanted it on the album or not. It's just a very organic. This is like the next day I was like, it's going on the album. So there's no time.
I love that. It's meant to be. It just happened.
Meant to be.
Chart. Panic at the Disco takes over chart